vlog day number 5. Didn't think I'd get this far. So a couple days ago, I took this trip down to the Pacific Science Center to go and see the King Tut exhibit, which was amazing. So good. I've actually been obsessed with, like, all things archaeological since probably the 3rd or 4th grade. In 4th grade, I had this book, which I still have, called Egyptology, and I was convinced that I was going to be an archaeologist. So at the Pacific Science Center, the whole time, I can just feel this, like, ridiculously excited 4th grader inside me, like, freaking out. I think that the things that interested me the most were the human interest type things. So, like, at one point they have King Tut's bed laid out. It's really fascinating to look at that and picture someone from 3,000 years ago lying in that bed. Same with, like, the necklaces, or the jewelry, or jars, and things that people would actually use. It's the coolest thing to just picture someone wearing this necklace, and so I'm just sitting there staring at it, grinning, kind of like an idiot, because I'm picturing this in my head and I'm having such a great time. Definitely the one thing that I didn't like about it, though, was it was incredibly crowded. So wasn't a big fan of the people, but I really enjoyed the exhibit. It was really, really cool, and if you get the chance to go see it, I would highly recommend it. So after we left the exhibit, we went to go get lunch, and I was with my parents, and we went and got coffee and grabbed our phones and started looking around for some place to go eat. My dad's like, I'm gonna look at Google Maps and find every single food place in the next, like, 10 miles. And I'm like, Dad, why don't I just ask Siri? Because I've got Siri on my new iPhone, and I kind of wanted to show off a little bit. So he was totally absorbed in his phone, and he's like, let me find a good place. Manual labor research. And I'm like, Dad, just tell me a place that you want to go. Just tell me a place. And he's like, I was saying, give me a type of food that you want. And so he just kind of said to shut me up. He's like, I want Chinese food. So I asked Siri, I'm like, Siri, where can I get Chinese food? And Siri tells me, I found 15 places, 12 of them are fairly close to you. And I'm like, cool, sweet. So I start looking at the reviews and I'm like, oh hey, here's a good place, here's a good place, 10 minutes away walking distance, why don't we go there? And my dad's kind of like, I'm doing all this research here, and he's still kind of ignoring me. And it takes a while, but I'm finally like, okay, you know what? I want to go here. It's a vegetarian place, and I've been a vegetarian for a year and a half, and surprisingly, actually, in Bellingham, there's not that many vegetarian places around, which is kind of weird because there's a lot of vegetarians in our community. And so I was like, I want to go here and get this food, it has really great reviews, and it's not that far away. And I convinced them, and then so I take my GPS and I'm like, okay, let's go find this place, and I kind of get a little lost, but we find it eventually. So the place that we find is called Bamboo Garden Vegetarian Cuisine, and if you're ever in the Seattle area around the Pacific Science Center, highly recommend it. It is really good. But so we get there, and it's like, basically it looks like a house that someone converted into a restaurant, and it's kind of sketchy looking. So we get there, and we go inside, and I'm like, you know, this is either going to be really good or really, really bad, and I'm not quite sure which. So we sit down and we look through the menu, and I was surprised because I saw in the menu all this stuff about, like, beef and chicken and seafood, and I'm thinking, what kind of vegetarian place is this? But then my dad pointed out in the menu, it says, like, all our meat items are made from, like, protein substitutes, and so I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. I can get behind this. So we ordered some stuff, and it came, and it was so good. Actually, after we left, my dad said, that is probably the best Chinese food I've ever had in my life. And that made me so proud, because my dad is a true carnivore. Like, every meal has to have meat, you know? And he really liked it, and he was like, next time I'm in Seattle, I'm coming back to this place, and I will bring people here. And I was like, thank you! So after lunch, we went to see The Amazing Spider-Man in 3D IMAX. And it's huge and loud and just, like, pummels your senses from every direction for like 2 hours. I was actually really skeptical about this movie, though, because they just did Spider-Man like 5-6 years ago, and I was thinking, you know, it's a little bit too soon. Like, that was a good movie. I don't really see how you're gonna, like, do it so very differently. It looked pretty similar in the trailers and things. I was wrong. That movie is fantastic. Like, it's so good. And I've heard from different people that it sticks a lot closer to the plotline of the comic book, which I thought was pretty cool because I'm really into authenticity and doing things correctly based on the material that you're given. And so to see it done that way, it was really good. Really, really good movie. Actually, my mom declared it to be the best cinematography she has ever witnessed. I don't know if that's a accurate claim or not, but she did declare it to be so. So, if you're in Seattle, moral of the story, King Tut exhibit, Bamboo Garden Vegetarian Cuisine, and The Amazing Spider-Man, and your day will be as awesome as mine was. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back here for the next 2 vlogs until my week-long challenge is done. And then, I don't know, we'll see where it goes from there. I might do more, I might not. I probably will. I've had a lot of fun here. We'll see how that goes. Thank you for watching.